Hey there, sports fans. This is Christian Otero. I'm here with Brianna Jones. Brianna, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Friday, I can't complain. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We're gonna do this interview in English. Vamos a hacer esta entrevista en inglés, ya que aquí Brianna es boricua, pero criada en los Estados Unidos. Y pues sé que muchos de ustedes van a entender la entrevista. Pero ella vive siempre orgullosa de representar a la isla y de llevar los colores de Puerto Rico cada vez que se lo piden en su pecho en Jersey. Uh, I know you understood what I was saying right there, so because you were nodding your head.
A little bit. I understand a little bit
I
here and
was
there.
saying we were gonna do this interview in Spanish, and you're always ready to represent Puerto Rico, and just um you're always proud of wearing the jersey of Puerto Rico, chest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we were gonna do this interview in English because you're Puerto Rican, but you were born and raised in the States.
Born and raised in the States. Yep.
Yes. Um, by saying that, I want to start by asking you where does your Puerto Rican side come from?
Yeah, so I'm half black, half Puerto Rican. My mom's the Puerto Rican. Both my grandparents were born and raised in Puerto Rico. I have a grandfather actually who's living out in Mayagüez right now. So at the end of the season, I was able to, spend the last couple days visiting him and just make sure he's good and taken care of. He was able to come out to the Mocha game because that's about as close as he can get, especially 76-year-old driving 30 minutes, 8 p.m. games. That's a lot. But my grandmother was born and raised in Utuado, so back there in the middle. Yeah, and my aunts and uncles were also born in Puerto Rico. My mom was the last of five sisters. She was born in the Bronx after my grandmother and my grandfather decided to move out here to New York. But yeah, always, kind of grew up with that Puerto Rican culture and heritage, especially on that side. Lots of cousins, lots of family, lots of bendiciones and kisses and all that. So, I'm familiar with the culture. I think that's probably why I enjoyed this season so much, because it felt like home. Didn't feel so much like work.
So, so you're telling me you grew up with a lot of like tradition and the culture and the heritage. But do you also grew up with the food?
Oh yeah, I grew up with the food, man. Arroz con dulce, arroz con pollo, pollo guisado. At Christmas time, I was happy to be able to finally come home for Christmas because I told my mom, I was like, listen, I don't care what you make. I need my pernil, I need my coquito, and I'm good. I'm good. Like I
That's
need to
awesome.
enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And your grandma's still alive, or she passed?
Yeah, my grandmother passed away when I was a junior in high school. So that's why it's important when I do go. A lot of people are like, oh, let's go to Puerto Rico for vacation. For me, it's never really a vacation because at some point I'm going to have to make my way out west to Mayagüez to just check on him and make sure he's good since he's out there by himself. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're basically from the west side of the island.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great because my wasn't great, bro. It's just great. It's a beautiful.
Yeah.
The island is beautiful, but the west side of the island is like peaceful and stuff because
It's less touristy, but even now, I think just seeing it change over the years, like obviously San Juan and just that whole area has always been very, very populated with tourists. I
that,
think this is the first time just driving out west because I see more people, posting on their social medias or asking me recommendation. A lot of people go out to Rincon, Cabarro, so they're starting to go a little bit more out west. I mean,
but it's just more peaceful driving to Maya West and Rincon.
oh yeah,
Cabo
absolutely.
Rojo. Because when you're driving up in San Juan and Bayamon, Carolina,
Man.
it's so dreadful driving up.
It's the traffic is terrible. The potholes are terrible.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not a scenic sight.
Exactly. It's like driving in New York, and you're from
It
New
is.
York, right?
Yeah, I'm from Long Island, but it's almost equivalent to driving some parts in the city. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're from Long Island. That's why I wanted to like I took you to the traffic of what I want because I wanted to take you to New York. Um,
The-
Talk to me about being born and raised in New York because there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, there's a lot of Latinos, there's a lot of like Dominicans and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah.
Talk to me about
Um,
born and raised in New York.
yeah, for sure. So the funny thing is, I was actually born in Hackensack, New Jersey, Hoboken, New Jersey, and I lived in Hackensack for the first 8 years of my life. And then my family moved to be with everybody else in New York, on my dad's side. So we moved out here to Long Island when I was 8 years old, and we've been here now for 17, 18 years now. So it's just easier to say, yeah, like, I'm from Long Island. Yeah, I claim some of the New Jersey in me, just a little bit. But nah, I mean, growing up in New York was awesome. Long Island is about 40 minutes from the city. To me, it's the best of both worlds. I get my beaches in the summer. But if I want to go do something in the city, Queens is right there, Brooklyn is right there, train station is right there. Um, but the best part is I don't got to worry about parking. So I got a driveway. I'm from the suburbs. I'm always gonna tell people I'm from the suburbs. I'm a suburbs girl. But yeah, I mean, New York is awesome, especially like you said, like a bunch of cultures, um, especially Hispanic. So growing up and just going to high school, I did go to a predominantly white high school. I stayed in the public school system, which is very rare to see now when you're trying to play basketball and take yourself to the next level. But I stayed in the public school system, and I was fortunate enough to go to a school that was, well, I like to think it was diverse because I was pretty much cool with everybody. We have a really large Haitian population, West Indies, a lot of, surprisingly, I think it was like a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, and a lot of El Salvadorians. So it was a whole mixing pot, and I think it kind of prepped me. It spoiled me a little bit because when I got to college, it was nothing like that at all.
No, because you went to college. Your first college was in hockey, right?
Yeah, so I graduated in
There was a lot
2015.
of white people down there.
A lot of white people down there, and I'm used to white people. It's not to say anything about it. It's like
No,
again,
there's nothing wrong with white people. We love.
no. I just mean like I live out in Long Island, so I see them everywhere. There's a lot of Italians, a lot of Jewish people out here, and they're small businesses that I love to support and all that stuff. I have friends that are athletes as well, but going out to Kentucky was a culture shock. But I was so, when you're young and you get all these schools giving you all these offers and you just see the shining lights, and I wanted to be treated like a rock star. And at the time, Louisville did a really good job at showing me that lifestyle. But it was different, just going out and, potentially you might see a conservative rally, or people might say some things that were, if they definitely couldn't say those types of things nowadays. It was just really different, and it was the first time being around my teammates that were coming from all over the country as well. So I had teammates from Cali, I had teammates from Texas, I had teammates from New Jersey like me, Virginia, like Georgia. We were all over the place. So again, I think just being on that team was also special and kind of spoiled me, just keeping me in my comfort zone. Like, okay, diversity like this is what I'm used to.
We're talking about Louisville because that's the school that we're going to talk about. You were a star in high school.
Hmm.
You I was reading about almost 18 points a game per game. And talk to me about that experience about being basically the star of the team. And you're being humble. You're looking down right now. You're like, oh,
Because I know,
don't talk about
no,
that.
because I know it's coming, but it's okay. I don't mind talking about this. It's one of my
And
favorite things to talk about.
you were a star. They gave you a lot of like um, mentions in newspapers, and they gave you honors, and they gave you a lot of like stuff. Talk
Mhm.
to me about that experience in high school. Was that must have been like some of your best time?
Um, I think at the time I thought it was my best times. Now that I'm a little bit older, I think I was just getting started. But yeah, I mean it's definitely exciting. I think it's kind of cool now. I think everything I did back then is kind of the reason why I carry myself a certain way now, because it's a smaller town in on Long Island, so I still will go to the gym. Parents will see me, they'll be like, oh, like just checking in, just following my journey all the way up to even now playing professionally. So that's cool that to have a supportive community like that. Especially seeing some of the younger kids come up and they know who I am. But in high school itself, um, it was fun, of course. Who doesn't want to get the ball every possession and score a bunch of points and just be an absolute monster? But I stayed in the public school system because at the time when I went, North Babylon had a really good women's basketball program. Um, we were just coming off of a few. I started playing varsity in the 7th grade. I should start there.
First year?
Yeah, my seventh grade year, they put me on the varsity team. I didn't play much, but
You were good.
I was
Still,
just to be around that type of talent. Like we had girls, so we had Chelsea Chisholm, who went to Cincinnati, Eugenia McPherson, who went to St. John's. We've had a bunch of kids go D2, D3, and then Bria Hartley, who ended up going to UConn. My 7th grade year was Bria's senior year, so just to be around
you
that
went
type of
on. That says it all. Says it
yeah.
all.
So just to be around that type of talent, really helped shape who I became as a player. It kind of made me realize, okay, well, at least this school does have a legacy to upkeep, so I need to step up my game and I need to be able to carry myself differently, think differently than some of my peers. So, hey, Bree, do you want to hang out? I mean, I had to sacrifice a lot, especially listen, my dad and my mom, we threw ourselves all the way into it. We would travel hours for AAU practice and tournaments. So I didn't really get to have some of the same experiences as my peers, but again, they were nothing but supportive. Everybody was super great and loved the fact that I was just trying to do something better for, my future.
But still, it was worth it when you were getting all those things that you were getting, when you were getting the attention of the media, when you were getting all that. I think it was worth it.
It's worth it. It's still weird. Even stuff like this is still weird because in my mind, I don't know. I still see myself as that kid that just would wake up, go to the gym with her dad, work, get yelled at by her dad, and like work out for hours, running up and down the court, and then going over to my trainer and shooting in front. Like I just see myself as that. It's hard for me to. I think now that I'm older, the only thing that I'll say is like I like to pride myself on the fact that like I don't do much talking. I'm more of like I'll lead by example. Like that's my thing. I feel like I can't ask you to play hard, and I'm not going hard to be in help side, or I'm not trying to get the rebound, or I'm not going as absolutely hard as I can, because that's just who I am. I'm not good enough to just show up and just drop. I'm not good enough. I have to be on go at all times. That's the only way I succeed on the court.
You're humble. You're a humble girl. You're a humble girl. For real, you're a humble girl. Like, so now let's go to Louisville.
All right.
You played there for 2 seasons, right?
Yeah,
How was that experience?
that was humbling. That in itself is humbling. I'm coming from being a top 10, top 25 ranked kid. I just came from playing in an All American game. I'm getting all the attention. We were the number one recruiting class, and I was going to a school that I think when the polls came in, we were top 4 in the country. We had the number one recruiting class, so it was really really big. Um, Dealing with the different culture shocks. You have the resource. It's so many things going on and all that. And I didn't play. And I tell people that all the time. They're like, oh, what happened? Why'd you transfer? I didn't play. I wasn't ready. Looking back now, no matter what school I would have picked, I would have never been ready because I didn't know anything. They give these kids opportunity to pick a school for themselves. Um, and some of them are lucky and they get it right on the first go and they're successful and that's great for them. But a lot of us, we don't know what we're doing. They took me to a football game that like had a record attendance. I think it was the Clemson game. Then they took me to a home game. There was 15,000 in the crowd. I'm like, oh, of course, that's gonna be me on the court. No, No, not at all. So I didn't play very much, um, but I think
You learn a
everything that
lot from that experience.
yeah, everything. It's so hard not to learn because it's ACC. Like it's ACC, and at the time, damn near everybody in the ACC was a top 25 team. So just to sit and watch and see defensive schemes, offensive strategies, how coaches think, how a game at the college level at that pace, it's hard not to learn. So I took, but again, at one point, I was a sophomore, and I was like, look, this is great. I feel like I learned everything I can. I'm ready to apply it on the court. Still didn't work out. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go. So, and it's no hard feelings. Like Coach Walls is a great guy. I talked to him sometime once I got out of school, and we had a long conversation. Sam Purcell, who's over at Mississippi State, is doing awesome things, and yeah, they're great people, great people. So they wish me nothing but
wanted to move on and do your thing.
Court and sweat a little bit, and fortunately, DC was closer to home. Obviously, it's a 5-hour train ride, so that was much nicer than a 13-hour drive for my parents in the middle of Kentucky.
Exactly.
Yeah, so DC was right up my alley. Georgetown. I studied business, so if anything went wrong with basketball, God forbid, I was gonna still get a Georgetown degree out of it.
But by the way, you have to be a smart cat because they don't take.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that. I had to get in by myself. I had to they helped me, I think, just pay for my application, but I had to go back. I had to find my SAT scores. I had to give them my GPA. So thankfully, I was about my mom has always preached education. And my dad was more of the basketball.
They don't take anyone.
I'm a little bit. I got a little bit up here too. It's not all X's and O's,
You're smart.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It was that was also a completely different experience from Louisville. But still, I learned so much over there too. Now
That was another experience. Good. Let me tell our fans, she transferred from Louisville to Georgetown. So these ain't none of them are none of the two are small schools.
Yeah.
Like Louisville is a freaking big school, and Georgetown is a huge school.
Right. Yeah, I went from a big school in Kentucky to a big school in DC.
On the men's side, we're talking AI. We're talking Patrick Ewing. We're talking whoa.
Yeah.
How did you feel playing in the school that I just mentioned two of the there's a lot of more guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Playing in that school. How did you feel playing in that school?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think from the first visit, you walk in and it's this huge Harry Potter looking building. It's a very old buildings, and it's what you see in the movies, and it just felt right. And I remember just being on that visit, and I was in the gift shop with my dad, and he comes over to me. He's like, you're going here, right? I was like, yeah, I know. And I ended up signing in April. Came in the summer, and the first workout we had, Patrick Ewing just got hired that year that I came in, and first person I saw walking around was Patrick Ewing, and I was with some of my teammates.
How did it feel seeing Patrick?
Man, I was like, this is crazy. I was like, yo, what up, coach? You trying to play it cool? He's like, oh, what's up? Oh, oh, you're the Jones kid, you're the new recruit, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, much luck to you and your season. So he's a really humble dude, and he's super cool. His whole staff, you see them around campus, they always make a point to say hello, and check in and ask about the games and stuff. So that was weird at first, but then by my grad year, I was like, oh yeah, it's Coach Pat. His son was on the staff, and his son is super cool and energetic, and
another ex-NBA player.
Yeah, they got a lot of history there, and the fact that we were playing in McDonough, A lot of people complain because yes, I do believe the girls do deserve better resources because the men don't play at McDonough. They play down at the arena that the Wizards play at. But there are times, especially on senior night, where you're like, all right, like I'm a part of history now too, and I'm okay with that. So it was a special feeling. Plus, I can't complain. DC always got something going on.
That's dope. That's dope. I asked you about the word dope.
You can say dope, man. I say dope all the time.
I'm about to turn 33, so I say I'm a 90s kid. So
Nah, you good.
no, but we already talked about your family. We already talked about your college years. Um, it's been a while, like run from your college years to your high school years. Now let's talk about your pro career.
Oh, my pro career is.
Because I knew some stuff about your pro career that I was like, whoa, this girl's like on fire. This girl is super. Like this girl is good as hell. Like I was gonna cuss right now.
Nah, you're good.
But you told me something that I didn't know,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
want
So.
to talk about that right now.
Yeah. So I graduated 2020. So my last year, my last semester, COVID happened. We had already finished out our season. We weren't going to play in playoffs, so it was the first time I was able to have a spring break. And I went home, and the school called. I was like, "Don't come back." Matter of fact, move out this weekend. So I finished out my semester doing online, and I was like, "All right."
That year was a mess for everyone.
That year was a mess, and to be honest, I was convinced. I was actually in the months leading up to me graduating and the season being over. I was getting ready to transition into coaching because I was like, "Look, man, I'm tired. Like my knees hurt. I don't want to play no more. I'm just tired." And my assistant coach, who's like a mentor to me, she's a head coach over now at William Mary. She was helping me, she was helping me reach out to programs like a GA for. NCAA has a program, so you want to be a coach. I made that, and um, I thought I was done. And then my last game, I shot 2 for 15, and I said, "Oh, I can't leave on that note.
You gotta retire like that. Come on."
I can't go out like that." So I transitioned. I still was kind of looking into coaching. I was looking for an agent, and a lot of the agents I had or like I would talk to, they all told me the same things. Like, it was COVID, so the market changed for everybody, and it would be we're interested, but we don't have enough money, or well, we can't afford you right now. We're gonna go try to get a D2 player, or we have a WNBA player. We're good. So it's like, all right, I had to wait, and for the first time in 5 years, I was sitting at home in the room I grew up in with my parents and my brother, and I had to sit there and eat that, and all I could do was just work out and wait. Um, so in January, my agent at the time was able to find an opportunity for me in Saudi Arabia. Yeah,
That,
and
when you say that again, even like it was the first time, like you told me the first time, my reaction's the same.
because I think I was sitting at this exact same desk when he told me, and I was talking to my friend, and she was like, "Don't they like hate women over there? Is that even safe?" Like, Bree, like it is never that serious. Like, think about it. But I was so hungry to play, I didn't care, and I was like, "Look, I know my agent. He's a friend of the family. I don't think he put me in a bad situation. It's for 3 months. The money's decent. I'm not sitting at home anymore." So I went over there, and I told myself, this is an opportunity. So I'm not gonna let any bias. I tried googling what to bring, what's it like over there, but it's Saudi. Nobody really knows. And I tell everybody, you're never gonna know until you go over there. And I told myself, I'm like, go in with an open mind. Don't go in with any bias, and that might ruin your first experience. To this day, the best experience I've ever had.
Are you for real?
I put that on everything. The best experience I've ever had. Basketball wise, the talent wasn't that great. That's expected when you go over to places like that. But the culture, the people, the food, everything. The best experience. Their Arabic culture is very, very similar to Hispanic culture. It's very loving. It's very like hugs and kisses, and they spoiled me beyond belief. I got there and my birthday was in like 2 weeks, and they at the time, it's a little side story, has nothing to do with basketball, but at the time I really wanted a PS5, and it was super hard to find PS5s out here in the States. Yo, in Saudi, they had them stacked up in the mall. So I was like, yo, my first check, I'm buying a PS5. I didn't even get a chance to. These girls knew me for 2 weeks. They pitched in and they bought me a PS5. Kid you not. I'm looking at it right now. They bought me a PS5, 2 controllers, and 2 games. And I'm still cool with every single one of them to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're
Not bad to all of the Saudi girls and all of the things that I was thinking about the Saudi girls.
Nah, I mean, it is different. It is the culture is different. I will say that. Like, they just started letting women drive over there. So
still, I apologize for being so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's people are just ignorant and not
exactly.
ignorant.
We're naive. We don't know.
Like, you just don't know, but it's because they just don't. You don't know until you go. People think Dubai and they think partying, but Saudi was the city I was in was an hour west of Mecca, so I was right on the coast. Great weather, very westernized too. Yeah, it's the only thing was probably like I didn't have to wear a hijab, but I did have to cover my arms and my legs. But I usually play with that type of stuff anyway, so it's fine. But it was awesome, awesome
And it was
experience.
3 months. You spent 3 months over there.
Yeah, about 3 months. I came home like in March. I left, yeah, January to March.
It was a great experience for you, so that's
Yeah.
what matters. That's awesome.
Yeah. Every time I tell people that, they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yo, you have to go. I will be the biggest advocate for people to just go and see it yourself."
That's great. And again, I apologize to because I was like when you first told me that, and now you repeat it again, and I was like, "Oh, Saudi, what?"
Mm-hmm.
Just keep talking about something else because I feel bad.
Nah, you're good. After Saudi, I came home for a little bit and spent the spring at home, just working out and chilling and getting some good quality family time. And then I signed a contract in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany, which is about an hour from Frankfurt. It was going to be my first like full 8-month European contract. So, excuse me, I was excited about that. And
That's awesome because playing in Germany and Europe, it's like a dream come true for a college player.
yeah, because I always knew I wanted to end up in Europe. Um, but it was completely different than Saudi. The German culture is everything that is stereotyped to be, at least from my experience. They love their rules. They're very blunt, and it comes off as harsh and cold. But once you just realize that's just how they talk. Um, but I ended up actually, I got there in August, and in September, I ended up hurting my hand in practice and found out that I had fractured my finger, my shooting hand. We're doing a rebounding drill, and my teammate's elbow came down like in the air on my hand. Accident, super super crazy. So went to the doctor. They let it just rest in a cast for about a week. Came back. They're like, listen, you're gonna need surgery, and you're gonna be out for about a month. I've never had any injuries in my life up until this point. No surgeries, nothing. So I was really nervous, and my parents couldn't come see me because COVID was still coming up so it was hard. And my mom works in nursing, so it was tough. So I had to go get surgery, do recovery. all by myself. That was not a fun experience. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I have some pretty good people in my support system, and they definitely helped me through that. But it's different when and it's a 6 hour difference. So for me, it's 6 o'clock at night. I don't went through my whole day, and my mom is getting lunch, and she's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "I didn't have like a whole day."
Yeah, it's super different. It's super different. I used to have I sent baseball player to 2 or 3 baseball players to Chinese Taipei, Taiwan,
Mm.
and their game started at like 4 a.m. and they were like, "Did you watch my game?" And I'm like, I was sleeping, bro.
Like, I'll catch the replay. It's
Yeah.
okay. That's my dad's
No,
way. I'll
I,
catch the
I, I,
replay.
I'll pitch up a complete game or something like that. I'm like, great for you, bro. Thank
Proud of
God.
you. I'll see the
Yeah.
highlights. Thank you.
But I knew they were doing great, but I couldn't watch all of their games because it was.
Yeah, that was. I think that's the biggest difference for me is like I've always had my dad at my games, and he's always made an effort. So now being my professional career, and my dad has not seen me play live professionally yet. It's just because he works and he has my brother to deal with, who also is in the mix of things. He's in the teeth of it. He's say 17, 18 years old right now. They're trying to put him on next. So I understand for sure. So he catches it on YouTube, especially with BSN. They did a pretty good job with their lives, but it's hard. It was definitely hard. In 8 months, no Christmas, no holiday.
So you spend so you
I
spend
spent
November, December over there.
November, December. I only time I came back was for the national team for quarterfinals. The qualifiers. Which was in DC. So I was like, I was running. I was running for that. I was like, I need to go. So being in DC, my parents were able to come, and it was really special, and it helped out a lot just to be able to see them. And ended up practicing on Georgetown's court. Like if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would have made it through that season. That would have been a tough one. I don't know about that one.
So the experience over there was kind of sour because of the injury, but it was sweet at the same time because you got to learn too a lot about their culture and learn about another like kind of like a different like way of how they play basketball.
Yeah, definitely. You hear about European basketball, and like you see a few players in the league like Luka and Jokic, and you see what they mean by that.
Yeah,
Um, but
because they're a
it's
little bit
definitely different.
rougher. They're maybe a little bit rougher and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, basketball wise, it was fine. Like we didn't win many games, but I was playing and learning a lot, and that was the first time I had to kind of play out of position. I was playing a 4 and a 3, and at one point I think I had to play one game. I had to play 5, and I was like, okay, this is a little too much for me. These girls are big. I'm strong, but they're big. There's difference. But
How
yeah,
tall?
you're
How tall are you? Right?
5'10".
5'7"?
5'10". Oh my God,
5'10"?
5'10". Yeah.
Oh, you're like, no, don't call me 5'7".
Right, I know 5'7". I work hard for my 5'10". Come on now.
5'10". You're a center. They wanted you to play.
Yeah. Well, people like putting me down low because I like to bump. I'm strong.
Yeah,
I know that. So, but people are still taller than me, so it's a little it's a
I know
little
what.
rough.
When I see you during a game, I'll be like, hey, 5'7" kid.
Yeah.
You
That'll get me
you
to turn around. That one might get a reaction out of me. I try hard not to interact with the crowd too much.
5'7" kid. No, that's a good one. Huh. Now let's talk about Puerto Rico because I know you love that.
Oh yeah, Puerto Rico was home. That was
When
the
was the first
best.
time that someone from Puerto Rico approached you, like part of the Puerto Rican national team?
Yeah. So we always knew the Puerto Rican national team was there. And we just never had the right connections, honestly. Like we just never knew the right people to send our like my film to or my information to. But when I signed in Saudi, it was the first time Jerry reached out to me. And he was letting me know like we have these playoffs coming up, these tournaments and stuff, and like he really wants to see me, see what I could do. So he wanted me to go with them to Belgium, but I had literally just landed in Saudi that day, so I wasn't able to go. So I had thought my opportunity was missed, but fortunately, he reached out again while I was in Germany, and asked me to be a part of the qualifiers. And again, I heard it was in DC.
You were like, let's make it happen.
I was like, let's go. I remember my mom was able to visit me, and I had taken her to Paris for the weekend, and I found out, and she was like, "All right, we're going to DC. Like, let's go." So that was really awesome. So February, because I spent my birthday in DC with them as well. So around February of 2022, I think. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know
So last year.
you spent Thanksgiving too for the Puerto Rico jersey last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was your birthday, February, and Thanksgiving too.
It was birthday, Thanksgiving, so I had a whole year of Puerto Ricans.
It was kind of weird. Thanksgiving, it was kind of weird.
I mean, we were in Mexico, so we were like, all right, this is cool, I guess. I mean, I think we were so focused, and we played that day too. We had a game, so we were so focused, and
I know.
yeah, and I think we understood what we were trying to do there, and that group was a really special group too. I think.
Nice won gold. That's something that it was.
Yeah.
Guys, the Puerto Rican team won the gold medal in that tournament, but that team was.
I mean, I will say, being a part of the World Cup team and then being a part of Central Basket, both teams were great. I think obviously Worlds had the top talent that we could bring in, minus Jazz, because I know there were some she just wasn't able to make it. And with Central Basket, we had a lot of new faces, and I think it was really cool.
A lot of the girls were playing or something.
Yeah, a lot of the girls were playing, and because it is hard when you're over there, you're like, all right, do I really want to come back? I mean, for me, that was my first experience in Puerto Rico, so that's why I jumped at the chance. But I can understand why somebody's like, listen, I'm putting a lot on my body right now, and to play would be a lot. But
still, there were new faces, but the team was.
It was still the way we congealed was it. I think why it worked so well was because we all came in. Most of us were, if not all of us, were coming from BSN, so we already had that I'm the man, like it's me type of vibe over on our with our respective teams. So coming to the national team, I think we literally were like, hey, we're just here to get a job done. No egos. Nobody's gonna be thirsty for the ball, or there's plenty to go around. Okay, it's your turn this game. You're gonna get 25. Cool. Oh, you're gonna score 10 points in the first quarter. Cool. Okay, like let's get it going. And
that
everybody.
And that's something that every team has to do when they're playing for their national team. When they're playing for if you're playing for a team and you know you're the star or whatever, and you know who, if you're not the star, there's another girl that's a star or another kid that's the star. Well, go ahead and do whatever the coach tells you. But when you're playing for your country, when you're playing for a national team, you gotta be unselfish like that.
Yeah.
Like the girls were like, come on, make it happen like that.
No, and absolutely.
Selfish, and you united the country in a way that the country was going through some hard stuff.
Absolutely. When we got over there, when we got over to Worlds, the hurricane had hit, and then especially with during Thanksgiving, I think there was another storm that had come about, and
there was a hurricane in the summer. Something was going on, but you guys united the country in such a way that I haven't seen that since 2017 when Team Rubio, the baseball team,
mm-hmm.
the WBC baseball team, did it. They did it like the same way you guys did it, and it was like, oh.
I think we just understood, like, especially I credit a lot to Jerry and his staff, because especially after Worlds, I think we put the world on notice. Like, hey, like we're a small island, but please
E-
don't play with us,
Exactly.
please.
Those were upsets, and when I was watching the game, and the announcers were like at the beginning of the game, they were like, yeah, Puerto Rico against this team, and Puerto Rico, they were like, they were not saying it, but they were inside of them. They were like, they have no chance.
A lot of the sentiment was that everybody kind of just looked at us like, oh man, they're just happy to be here,
Exactly.
and it I think it pissed off a lot of us. I know Jerry at one point like literally sat us down and like they don't think you deserve to be here. They don't respect you. And for
That,
me, that's a big thing for me. I'm like, who don't respect me?
and
Because
that was the way the announcers were like trying. They did not say it, but they were like
yeah, we could
trying
read
to
between
say
the
it. They
lines.
were like they saying it in like this just pretty words, kind of like,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I understand. So I think the fact that we proved that we can compete. Now, will we win every game? No, of course not. But we can compete. That's one thing we're always going to do is compete. And I think the fact we showed that and went as far as we did, it said a lot to people. So going into just keeping that rolling, and then a majority of us went on to go play in our contracts. So we're keeping that confidence high. We're staying in shape. And now to come back for Central Basket, and we're talking about our region now. We were like, oh, we respected every team, and we took every team serious. But we went there as like this. We're running through everybody, like
And that's what you guys did.
we do not care. We are running through everybody, and we're gonna play the game as if you don't even know the score. You'll think it's tied up. Do as hard as we play. Doesn't matter.
That's what you guys did. And as a Puerto Rican, I, I was super proud of you guys, and I thank you guys for what you did, because I'm living in Florida right now,
Right.
but I know what you guys did to help my family that's living in Puerto Rico go through a lot of things that they were going through,
Mm.
and my family and me were going through, and a lot of families up here in the States were going through a lot, thinking about our families down in Puerto Rico, what was going on. So
Yeah.
thank
We
you
just
for that, and thank you for making us proud for being Puerto Ricans.
we listen. I appreciate that. Listen, from the minute I put on the jersey, I knew it was something special. I know how that Puerto Rican pride goes, so I try to do my best to represent the island as best as I can, and I'm fortunate enough to be around people and teammates that are on the same goal. And literally everything we do is is for Puerto Rico. Like we understand that. I think Jerry told us that from jump. He's like, everything is about Puerto Rico now, everything,
Exactly.
and we all bought in, and we were like, that's fine. We left the egos at the door. It's about y'all now. So we appreciate y'all for just supporting us because it's hard to find people that support women's basketball, like really support it and like really mean it. So we did it for you guys and just everybody back home because that was a special time.
That's that's I know that you guys were doing it for real. Like when you guys were sending the videos or the small videos through social media stuff like the Instagrams and Facebook and whatever they were using, guys were like the words that were coming out of your mouths were coming from the heart, and
Yeah,
that that's something that it was special. So thank you guys,
no, for
real.
real, we appreciate that. On behalf of my teammates, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Now let's talk about SAN.
Oh, Santurce. Yeah.
Talk to me
Uh,
about that experience.
it was awesome. It was different. Again, that's my favorite word. It was different.
It
I
was
think I'm
different. Puerto Rico's different.
Listen, I mean, playing in that league honestly felt like home. It helped. I was in I was living in Catalina, but playing in Santurce and just being in San Juan and just being where it's all happening, was great. Just to be completely submerged in the culture, and the style of play in the league is very much right up my alley. It's very much, run and gun. It's a lot of one-on-one basketball, but within a system. Like you gotta be able to go one-on-one at some point in the game. And there was so much talent in there. So that was really great. I wasn't expecting the league to have the schedules like that though. That was the only thing that threw me off. I got there on October 5th. Our first game was October 8th, and we played 8 games in 12 days. The season in less than 2 weeks. That was
That
wow.
was crazy. Your body was like, what?
Well, my body was like, "Yo, what are we doing?"
And then the practices too between the games.
Yeah, we practiced at night. We were fortunate enough. We only practiced once a day. We weren't like some other teams. We only practiced once a day at
I know,
night.
I know that some of the teams they played and then they practiced the other day and then they played and then they practiced. They were crazy.
Yep. Off days were very hard to see, um, but it's okay because again, I complain, but when I'm in it, I literally wake up, I see the beautiful sunshine. I'm like, I can't be upset. I'm in Puerto Rico. Come on, man. I'm
Let's
playing. I'm playing
get to
decent.
Puerto Rico.
I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm playing somewhat decent right now. Okay, let's calm down. If I have to go sweat on a court for 2 hours and then do it again tomorrow, it's not the worst thing in the world. This is my job.
Strikes were the longest strike. The longest strikes were like for you were like how long? It was, what was
It'll be
we
Mocha was
playing?
the longest.
What was the longest?
Mocha for sure, hands down.
So,
Yeah, I think the last no, it might have been the second game of the playoffs, and we had to get to Mocha. We left at 3, and it was around Christmas time, so there was like some festival, and we didn't walk into that gym until like 7:15. Like we had to put on our uniforms, and we were not ready for that game. We knew it. We were like, all right, they're gonna just take this game. That's fine. We'll get
but
them back home.
you were playing with who? Who were you playing with again? I forgot.
At Santurce,
Santurce Cangrejera, así es.
I had Rebecca Tobin as the starting center. I had Ari, and then Ashley Torres, Annalise, Rita, um, Stephanie
You,
Watts came in
you
for
playing
us.
Rita?
Hmm?
You were playing Rita?
Yeah, I love me some Rita.
Rita Acevedo.
Yeah, she's a
That's my
she's
girl. That's my
great.
girl.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's the heart and soul of that team. Low key, she brings the energy.
Tell
Oh,
her to sing you some reggaeton.
oh no, she always wants to sing me some reggaeton. Every time they playing Bad Bunny or something else, she's like BJ. I'm like, yo, man,
That, that, that,
stop.
that, she can write some reggaeton. She can sing some reggaeton too.
I believe it, cause she
Yeah,
looked like she got a little flavor to her.
yeah, no, for real. She's a great artist, for real. Rita,
Yeah.
I don't know where she. I'll interview Rita soon.
Yeah, you gotta talk to her. I gotta figure out what's going on with that. I ain't never hear no Rita original.
Rita, but she's going back to. I think she's going back to her team. Her team is next year. I think she's going back to because there was a team that didn't play this year, and
Sidra,
they gave all
yeah,
players to different.
yeah. She was. It was Sidra, and they dropped out like a few days before the league was supposed to start.
Yeah, they gave all the players to other. But she's a good player. She's a great.
Yeah, that's my dog right there.
Finished as the most improved or the most improved player from last season,
I think so,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
She really is a great player.
nah, good person, good peoples for sure.
So yeah, but you guys made it to the finals, right?
We made it to the semifinals, and then we lost. We took it all the way to Game 5 with Mocha. Lost at home to Mocha on like a
Mocha eliminated you.
Mocha eliminated us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was
that
Mocha
was tough.
and Manatee and Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that because one of my friends plays for Manatee. And Carolina was the champion for last year, and then Mocha eliminated Carolina.
Yeah.
Mocha's all the way down, and nobody expected Mocha to win, man. And Mocha,
Listen, I said it from jump. Well, I saw their roster, and I was like, I think they are the most talented. I think they're the best team in this league. They just didn't. They just took a while to figure it out, and when they figure it out, they're very dangerous.
and Manatee was like they lost their 3 games, and then in the playoffs, I don't know what happened.
They're to me, they were the most talented team. I don't know much about what was going on over there. And,
I think that their imports, like the American girls, I think they got hurt last 30.
probably, yeah. Injuries, it's a long but short season, so injuries.
It's a short season, but a lot of games at the
It's a lot, and you have to be ready. So you have to take care of your body. That's something that like I now preach like up the wazoo. Like I'll stretch, I'll do mobility, I'll take my time. I'm making sure like what I put in my body is gonna help me on the court. So yeah, but still, I mean, the playoffs were like fun and
you,
awesome.
you did enjoy your this year playing in Puerto Rico. Are you coming back next season?
We'll see, man. Santurce will have me, of course. Yeah, you gotta go talk to Jerry about that.
I think you're coming back next season.
If I don't have an opportunity in Europe,
But
I think I would. I think I would, but I do want to go back to Europe at least one more time.
yeah,
So
yeah, of course.
I'm trying to make it back there. So
If
we'll
you're
see.
any Europe like contract or something like that, I think I'll see you back in Puerto Rico because your smiles.
Yeah, cause those are my people, man. I love Santurce. I love the whole organization. They're dope.
So to finish this interview, it's been awesome, and I thank you again for your time. What are your goals?
Ugh, gosh, everyone's been asking me that lately. Goals. Um, Man, just put me on the spot with that one. Basketball? Yeah, we'll do basketball. We'll keep it simple. Basketball wise,
First basketball, and if you want to tell us about your life goals, go ahead and
I,
tell us basketball goals.
I won't bore people with that. Basketball, I want to be able to play in at least 2 to 3 contracts this year. And I hope I play again with the national team and be able to contribute. That's the biggest thing for me. To contribute because it Central Basket for me was really special. Worlds was really special to be a part of, but it was my first time being at a big tournament like that. So I wasn't there for all that hard work that Taira and Pamela and Jen put in and Ice. Like I wasn't there for that. So for Worlds for them was really big. And Central Basket for me, I was like, okay, like this is my second or third time being with them, so it means something to me now. Like I'm contributing too. So just to contribute a lot more with the national team, in any way that they need me. Doesn't always mean scoring, trust me. uh, Stay healthy and just continue to lead by example. That's my biggest thing. I just want to continue to lead by example. It's cool that you reached out. I appreciate this. I always think I'm under the radar. Nobody sees me. I'm the loudest one on the court, but I swear nobody ever notices me. So I appreciate this. I think this is dope, and just to let people, get a little inside scoop of what's going on in here. And I'm always yelling on the court and whatnot. 'Cause I act a fool on that court. I know that. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I want to thank you for your time again. I want to thank you for representing my island with pride, and your island with pride, because it's your island. That's your little island. That's yours too. That's all of the girls' island.
Mhm.
I want to thank you for answering all the questions that I just asked you. And for being so humble. Like you're
me, man.
I just athletes and human beings that I have ever talked to for real. I'm being so freaking honest right now. And I've been
I
talking
appreciate that.
2011. So I've talked to some good ones, great ones, not so good ones. So thank you so much for being like this. Don't you ever like think about changing who you are because you're great.
I appreciate that for real. I'm
Great.
just trying to be me, man. I just I'm just trying to be me. I like to think that like
I know for
yes,
real, for real.
the
Don't
way you speak, the way you act, I like to think if anybody were to take a small clip out of that and just see that one part, like what would they think about you? So I just try to make sure if at any times, it is genuine and I do mean it. I just being mean is hard. Being rude is hard. That's too much work. I don't know why people do that. Just
keep
be
being
you.
yourself, please. Keep being yourself. And you're gonna find
Yeah.
so much great stuff in life because you
I
deserve
appreciate that. I
just
appreciate
be
that so
yourself.
much. And I wish you nothing but success and luck and with everything you've done for sports in Puerto Rico, not just baseball. We talked a little bit before the interview, not just baseball and not just basketball, just sports in general. Just continuing to shine a light on Puerto Ricans in sport because we're here and we matter. And yeah, we may have a little half this, half that, or a quarter this, a quarter that. But listen, Puerto Rican blood is Puerto Rican blood, man. So and that pride comes in strong. So I appreciate you for doing stuff like this. I think that's awesome.
And I'll try to keep doing this. I'll try to keep doing it. It's not easy sometimes because there's a lot of like, oh, what are you doing helping out people that are not Puerto Ricans?
Yeah,
Like Puerto Ricans.
right.
You guys are Puerto Ricans. What are you doing giving them the time that they don't deserve? There's a lot of Puerto Ricans that were born in Puerto Rico. Those are the real Puerto Ricans. Nah, you guys are Puerto Ricans. Come on.
Yeah, we get that a lot. It's okay. I think playing in the league kind of boosted up my resume a little bit with the Puerto Ricans, just a little bit on the island.
But you Puerto Rican, like
I got the hair, man. Come on.
exactly. You Puerto Rican. Like this is my website. And sometimes when I started like my Facebook website, I got into arguments with people, and I don't get into arguments with people anymore. I'm like, if I get into arguments with people every single day, I'm gonna waste my time. But
Yeah.
today I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in like some years. F you people. F you people. They bust their asses for you guys, for your country, and you start calling me out because I give them the time they deserve. F you people. And yes, I'm gonna keep this in an interview. F you. There you
Oh
go.
man, big words. All right, I ain't gonna say that, but I'm gonna
And
keep my head down, keep working.
it was not Brianna, it was Christian. Cristian Otero.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my
Pero,
head down and work. I mean, it ain't gonna stop the work. It's not gonna stop what I try to do for the island, and what I will try to continue to do, and just hey, work is work. So
no, you keep doing what you do. Keep being humble. Keep being proud of your heritage. Keep being proud of being Puerto Rican, because that's what matters. And keep
yeah,
being so freaking humble, because that's what amazes me. Because you can be like, oh, I play in Germany, I play in Saudi, I played in Puerto Rico, I, I represented Puerto Rico, this and that, and be so, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're not. Thank
nah,
And last thing I want to do, I just want to give you some like however long you want to take to give you just however long you want to take so you can talk to the camp. The camp is all yours, and talk to the people that you love, your fans, the haters, if you want to talk to the haters. Whoever you want to talk to, whoever you want to give thanks to for your career, for whatever, your coaches, whoever, and then I'll finish the interview. But
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's real cool. First and foremost, always thank my parents because I know they sacrificed a lot, and I know it wasn't easy. But you guys somehow made it work, and you guys still continue to make it work and still support me. And you don't. That's really hard to find. My parents could have easily told me, "Yeah, this is done. Go get a real job." And my dad literally sat me down and said, "You play for as long as you want to play. You want to make it happen, we make it happen." So I'm always gonna put them first on that. Just any coaches that have I've had the opportunity of working with, whether good or bad, I'm always gonna take an experience and learn something from that. I try to learn from everything I do. And I thank everybody for that, trainers and all that. And my brother is really the reason why I go so hard. I have a younger brother. He's 18. He's also plays basketball. I don't know if he looks up to me. My dad says he does. I'm not sure if he does yet, but I do it for him because yeah, it's women's basketball versus men's basketball, and it's different. But I just want to show him that you work hard, keep your head down, and just follow the path. It's not going to always be straight, but if you just keep following that path, things are going to work out, even when it don't look like it. And just my friends that again support me. A lot of them could have easily been like, "Ah, man, Bree just always playing basketball," but they're super supportive, and they're always into it, and they're always down to just be a ear I can talk to or whatever. Of course, the Puerto Rico. Like I think just now, especially after BSN, I'm just now starting to feel like okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit more of the success, and it was because of Puerto Rico and just coming home from Mexico and just seeing everybody there cheering us on and then playing in Santurce and people see who I am and so you guys made me feel seen, especially when I've been through places in my career on I've been everywhere. I've been a bench player, forgotten about, and I've been a starter and a key role in the offense. So I know what it's like to not feel seen. And to my teammates and just Puerto Rico and everybody out there, I appreciate what you guys did for us this season and with the national team and with Santurce. Like I can't thank you guys enough. You guys gave me some of my confidence back, some of my hope back. That like yeah, you guys reminded me like, oh man, okay, I do. This is my passion. This is my love right here. So that's all I got for you.
well, Brianna, thank you so much for your time again. I hope this is the first of many, and I hope to see you real soon again with the national team and playing somewhere in the world.
Somewhere, we'll see. Yeah.
Maybe we could do an interview when you're playing in Europe someday, and I'm up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and you're like getting.
I won't kick you up. That'd be rude. Come on, man.
I'll do.
Oh,
I'll do it. I'll do
it's
it.
always fine time. Don't worry.
No, but or not, or if not, we could do something like in person when you're playing Puerto Rico. And I'll call you. I'll call you like 5'7" or something like that. No, but for real, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And fans, this is just a sneak peek of what's coming in March for a new website, and we're gonna be working with a lot of like well, or or athletes from baseball, basketball, boxing. It's not just gonna be like basketball or baseball or just one sports. It's gonna be with all of this or athletes from Puerto Rico. So keep following my Instagram and my Facebook page, and you guys are gonna notice that we're gonna do some interviews for March, and then in March we're gonna open our website, and you'll see. Síganos en las redes. And we're gonna do it in Spanish. Síganos en las redes. Van a ver muchas cosas buenas. Esto es solamente un preview de lo que viene en marzo, lo que queremos abrir en marzo. Van a ver otras entrevistas que se van a dar, no va a ser solamente de béisbol como estábamos haciendo hasta ahora, vamos a ver con baloncelistas, peloteros y otros atletas de deporte. Así que sigan pendientes de nuestras redes para más información. Gracias por la sintonía. Esto fue Brianna Jones junto a Cristina.